Hey there, it's Brittany, and I am back with the September curated bead box. I have opened this, but here is the front. Ooh, it's Woodland Wonder. Here are all of the ingredients in the box. They also have these codes, so you can go to their sister site, which is dollarbead.com, and buy extras. Sometimes the beads and sizes may vary from box to box, and then each box has a finding starter kit. So we'll go through all of our items. First, we have a 10 millimeter apple green marble style glass bead. This is an 8-inch string. I'm hoping that's what this one is. This is a coated bead. It's a very wild color. We have a 10 millimeter olive crackle glass bead, 8-inch string. You guys know that I really like crackle. It's a pretty color. We have a 10 millimeter malachite gemstone bead, 7 to 8-inch string. Okay, so FYI, this is obviously not malachite. Malachite is a high-end or more high-end gemstone. This is probably like a quartz that's dyed the same color, but it's still a cool color. We have an 8 millimeter green red duo gemstone style glass bead, 10-inch string. So it's a glass bead that is dyed green and red in an attempt to look like gemstones. We have an 8 millimeter green brown crackle frosted duo glass bead, 10-inch string. I really like these. I like that they're matte. I like the crackle. I like the color combo. And then we have an 8 millimeter aqua orange crackle frosted duo glass bead. I like this one a lot too. It still looks a little green to me. I don't think I would call that aqua, but it's not the same green that's on here. I really like these. I think this is probably my favorite item in the box, but these are a close second. Then we have an 8 millimeter green aventurine gemstone bead strand, about 7 to 8 inches. Lots of green going on in here. 6 millimeter bronze drizzled glass bead, 10-inch string. It's bronze in their eyes, orange in mine. Those look okay with these. They're a little, the tone is different though. Like these are much brighter. Approximately 1 ounce Harvest designer glass bead mix. So a bunch of different beads in here. Large hole, small hole, glass, crystals, bunch going on. Pretty much in like a champagne color. Then we have a 10 millimeter gold iron bead, gold round iron bead, about approximately 20 beads. I'll be interested to see if these tarnish. I would also probably just use them in the middle as cores of polymer clay beads. Sometimes I don't want to use a bunch of clay to make beads, and these would be nice to form those around. 8 millimeter round silver filigree metal bead, approximately 40 beads. We're going to be using this in the necklace that we're making today. 14 by 10 millimeter silver luster faceted bicone glass bead, 8 beads. We're going to be using these in the necklace today. They're so sparkly. 62 by 32 millimeter silver leaf metal pendant, 2 pendants. Go, very intricate. I don't know if these are punched or laser cut. We'll be using both of these on our necklace today. And then 26 by 20 millimeter leaf luster electric plated metal pendant. I really don't know how this one plays into the color palette, but maybe because it's a leaf, it's maybe not color, but it's Woodland Wonder. You know what? I missed these. This is an 8 millimeter Jasper gemstone bead strand, 7 to 8 inches long. And then the color for the findings kit this month is gold. I'm probably going to use a silver one from the past because we're using silver components today. So I'm going to pull these pieces out, those beads, the pendant. I think we're going to go with this strand, and we're going to go with these beads today. We're going to make a faux lariat necklace. I need to find some chain from my stash, so I'm going to find some silver chain. Yeah, I have this chain from, gosh, it's got to be 15 years ago, maybe. I don't know, maybe it says on here. 2007. So a little bit over 15 years. And you can see part of it is messed up. It's like tarnished, but I feel like it's held up pretty well for being in a package for 15 years. I probably got it sometime after 2000, between 2009 and 2012 or so. So we just need some chain. Use whatever chain you have. I just thought, hey, let's use up some of this chain that I've had forever. And then we're gonna make like a faux lariat. Oh, I have an older kit from this box. So I got out some silver and then some little clasps and some crimp beads, and then we'll see what else I need later. All right, so I'm also going to need a ring from my own stash, and I just actually grabbed a toggle that I didn't have a mate, so that's going to be our ring, and we'll kind of just figure out how this goes. So lariats are typically just a strand that you tie together, or you put one piece through a ring. We're going to make a faux lariat, making it look like our piece is coming through this ring, but obviously my feather or my leaf is not going to fit through this ring, and I'm just noticing that this is not bright silver like I thought it was, but these are, so that's okay. So I am going to pull out some beads, open up my bead strand. All right, so I'm going to decide my design, and it's going to be super simple. I'll probably grab some spacers as well, but we're going to hang some of these. There we go. So this is good. These beads are going to look like they're coming through our loop, and then we'll have some beads connecting up into the regular necklace, and then we'll have chain behind it. So I'm just going to get some, like a pattern going, and I'm going to bring this up a little bit so you can see more. Obviously you're going to see a lot of junk on my table, but that's just who I am, I guess, as a beader. And we want some crystals in here. So I'm thinking, oh, this will be pretty right above, actually, let's go with a different one. Right above my leaf. And then we have our second leaf, forgot about that. That'll be hanging from this guy. And we'll do the exact same thing above him. And then I'm just going to kind of fill in with crystals and metal, and then we'll start stringing, and I'll show you kind of my thought process as we go in a minute. Yeah, okay. I know you can't see what I'm doing off camera, but you'll get the picture once I start stringing. You can kind of see it back there. And then what I'm going to do first is start by attaching my pendant to my ring here. So this one's going to be a little bit different than this portion. I guess we could still use wire, bead stringing wire, instead of like German style wire. Put that on, come through my leaf, I've got some tape on my finger, and then crimp onto my leaf here. If you want to use a clamshell, that's totally fine too. So my crimping pliers are in another room, and I'm being super lazy, so I'm using some regular crimpers because I like my Zuron ones, but today laziness is winning out. Put that in your valley of your crimping pliers and squish. And then you turn 90 degrees and squish. Squish again. Okay. And I might use a bead cover to cover that up. And then I'll take my crystal. I might not need to do a bead cover. And my 3 silver beads. Oops. I don't know why the first 2 were so cooperative and then this one is coming out of every other hole than the one I want it to come out of. There we go. And move that all down towards my leaf. Put that piece through our leaf here and oh, wow, that's pretty cool. I actually like how that looks. I'm going to cut off this piece above my bead here. You can tell that I'm using my B Team tools because I don't feel like going to get the ones that I usually use. And then that's pretty fun hanging out above our leaf. And then I'm going to just take a jump ring. I have a little bit thicker gauge here. I'm going to attach it to my ring. Make sure it's really closed. And then I'm going to crimp onto my ring. And then come through my jump ring. And then back down. Normally I would say leave it loosey-goosey, but it's not necessary in this situation. Just come back down through one of your beads. Oh, these are the tricky ones, so we'll see if that works out. And then we'll just hold on to the loop or the ring and move everything down. And then we'll end up crimping. So we're kind of making a pendant for our necklace here. Squish, squish, and squish. And then we will trim. Okay, so I'll get in closer with my better nippers once I get them. So there is our pendant, super cute. I actually really love that. It's really fun. And then I am going to start stringing. I'm going to actually crimp onto my ring on the other side right here. Move it down a little bit more. And squish. And squish. And squish. All right. And then here, I'm going to do our pattern. I think I'm going to start with the green. And then go into the silver. These guys are a little tricky if you're stringing because that string wants to go out all the other filigree holes. And then my crystal. And I'll just keep going. So moving everything down. Find our chain. I just cut off a random piece for now. I'll figure out how long I want it in just a moment. Need more crimp beads. And then I am just going to cut off a little bit of this save the second piece for the rest of our necklace, and we will crimp right onto our chain here. All right, and then we'll crimp here. Squish and squish and squish. And that will trim. Okay, so we have this part done. And I can see I did not pull that well enough. I'm going to use some crimp covers to mind the gap. Actually, I'll show you how to do that. Usually I use my crimping pliers, but again, we don't have those in the studio at the moment. We're going to put this guy in here. Squish. There we go. And he's still moving around. We might need one or two, but I'm going to put one on the other end as well. Okay, so we have a little bit of a gap. It's not too bad. If you want, you could put another one or two crimp covers, but if you do it too tight, it's not going to move around. It's not going to look right. All right, so then our next strategy is to make it look like our leaf has come through our ring. And to do that, I need to string onto my leaf. So I'm going to take another crimp bead and string onto my leaf just like I did before. And then we string on the beads that we don't want to be on one side of the ring. So we want some of these beads to look like they're coming through the ring, and then some of them will be clearly on the other side. We need this part of the pendant to be much longer than, or at least somewhat longer than this pendant part. So we'll do a similar pattern, but it's going to just be more beads. See how we're doing here. Okay, so that's pretty good. And then what I'm going to do is put on 3 more of my glass beads. Start looking like it's coming through our loop. So there won't be anything that'll stop this loop from moving up and down our necklace unless I put a bead here that was bigger than our hole. And that's always an option. We did get really big. I don't know that this matches our color way though. Let's see how that looks. So let's see what it looks like. I'm going to just put a few more beads on and see how we feel about it. I don't love it. I don't love it. I think we'll be okay with it just moving around. I don't think we need that really big bead on there. All right, and then I'm going to crimp onto my chain, and then I will decide afterward how long I really want this necklace to be. And then I'll show you what it looks like, but I'll also show you what it looks like on my mannequin, Lucy. Who stands for Lucy Goosey. All right, so we'll come back down through our crimp. And then there are actually plenty of beads left over to make a matching bracelet. I'm not going to do that right now, but just use the same pattern. So here, And this is actually going to be, what's really cool is it's going to be an adjustable necklace, because the only thing preventing the leaf from coming through is how small this ring is. So we can pull it and move it. I know this is not the optimal look, but I love how these leaves are shiny. Actually, this is the front with those crystals and the silver. And we have a fun necklace. I'm going to trim this chain to be the length that I want. I'm going to put a clasp on the back. I'm not going to show that in this video. You guys probably know how to put a clasp on it by this time. But thank you for watching. If you're interested in the curated bead box and signing up, you can save 35% off your first box by using coupon code TURQST35 at curatedbeadbox.com. Information's all in the description of this video. Stay tuned for Goldie. She's super cute. Bye-bye.